Star Trek: The Next Generation was a show. Everybody I interacted with. A show that I started watching when I was a really little kid. Can you believe it's been 30 years since Star Trek: The Next Generation first
Star
aired?
Trek: The Next Generation was my life.
I really grew up with this show.
My relationship to how I should conduct myself. It was the escape from reality. Welcome to Next Generation's First Generation, where Patrick Delmore and Sascha Shouties take a look back into their favorite childhood show, Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is where we attempt to reconcile how we felt as children watching the show and looking back as old farts now in our late 30s, almost 40s. Guests, social commentary, and good old-fashioned shade-throwing on our favorite and least favorite episodes. Here comes Patrick and Sascha. Oh, I almost forgot. This is a watch-along podcast, so make sure to queue up your favorite DVD or Netflix, and we'll give you the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to basically watch along with the episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of Next Generation's First Generation. I'm your host, Sascha Shouties, and next to me is our other host, Patrick Delmore.
Hello, everybody.
And also we have us guesting today is the lovely Alex. And we are going to review an episode of STNG called Too Short a Season. This is the 16th episode in the series, and quite frankly, I don't really like this one. It's got a little TOS going on, and growing up, I wasn't the original series fan. What was your take on this one, Pat?
So I just watched it again for the second or third time on about 2 days ago, and it's a lot of meh. I like that it gives us a background, that this universe existed before this show did, that's not specifically referential to the original series. It's just written by Dorothy Fontana, who worked on the original series. But should we dive into this sucker?
Yeah, let's dive into it. So cue up your favorite Netflix or DVD, and we'll give you the countdown. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Engage.
Here's the captain's log, the ship flying by a random-looking marble of a planet.
And here's the lizard man, who is the protagonist of this thing.
He kind of looks like...
I saw a fly!
He kind of looks like old Popeye. He's got a huge chin.
That's Popeye's father there. Oh, there's another...
Pappy.
Yeah, Poop Deck Pappy.
I forgot about the Poop Deck part.
Yeah, Poop Deck Pappy.
They really did a good job on the HD version. They brought up a lot of the lighting on that set. Before you really couldn't see the set of the antagonist there. All the weapons on the background are actually props used in The Last Outpost on a couple of the original movies, and also Encounter at Farpoint.
I thought the birds were dolphins for a minute. I'm like, this is a very 80s looking apartment for a minute.
Yeah.
This just doesn't seem like a conversation they would need to use the main viewer to have. Basically, this Admiral Iguana, I like to call him.
Don't you sass me, you little whippersnappers!
Yeah.
I'll put you over my knee.
He's being called upon to negotiate a peace with some terrorists. He's like the only one that can do it. Oh, Picard looks so tired.
Who wouldn't?
Three o'clock.
Yeah. Huh, really? Oh, that was fast. Let's go welcome the Admiral aboard.
I thought that's
He was basically like...
world for a second.
If he could have said, just take me a couple seconds to get there, but instead he makes it...
So Okay. This chair that the Admiral's in cost $10,000 to make.
I just pictured... what the fuck is his name?
And this is why they didn't want to put X-Men into production forever.
And the transporter room is not wheelchair accessible.
No.
So how do they have to beam him off the pad and onto the floor?
Get 5 beefy dudes to help you get it down.
And believe me, they have more than 5 beefy dudes on
Ensign
this
Strong Arm.
Yeah.
We used to have to do that when the wheelchair ramps for the bus aren't working.
So he just told Picard that while Picard is still in command of the Enterprise, he is the Admiral Iguana is the mission commander. So he will be giving Picard and his crew orders as far as this terrorism thing goes. I can think of Oh, I know one. I gotta just change the words here. To come up with a good song here. You're younger than you've ever been, and now you're even younger. And now you're even younger. And now you're even younger. You're younger than you've ever been, and now you're even younger. And now you're younger still. You were Iguana Man, and then you looked sort of normal. You're younger than you've ever been, and now you're even younger. And now you're younger still. It freaked your wife out real bad.
Well, yeah, technically
you were supposed to give her stuff to make her younger, but you just took double the amount.
That's a Benjamin
You thought it
Button
wouldn't
shit.
make you crazy, but that you were wrong about that too.
I love your songs.
Iguana Man.
We need to go to karaoke.
So this episode, again, like I said, episode 16, directed by Rob Bowman. Story by Michael McAllister. The teleplay was by D.C. Fontana, and you know what? I've come to the conclusion that if it's got Fontana's name on it, I am not satisfied. Her stories always seem to have a TOS feel, and that's just not my gig.
So he's got his Professor X chair onto the bridge here. I don't think, actually, this chair existed before Professor X and the X-Men comics had a chair like this.
Really?
That chair did...
What about the cartoon series?
This is before the cartoon series.
Okay.
Cartoon series came on in 93 or 94, so we're looking at 5 years before that right now. This is 88.
Panel on the front always seemed unpractical because he'd have to get out of eventually to sleep or take a shower.
A refrigerator.
The great thing is, he doesn't have to wear pants.
Yep.
We all have to wear pants. We have to wake up in the morning and put on pants, not this guy.
Maybe he isn't. Who checks?
Well, that's...
Iguana! Sorry.
So the antagonist here that they're talking to, boy, where can I find it? This is killing me. I just had it in my show notes in front of me. Oh,
give it a minute.
I'll find it.
I have been spending the last 40 years eating insects.
There's a line in Questionable Content, the webcomic that's kind of like the no pants question.
Yeah.
Do nuns even wear underpants? Who checks? They go straight to the floor.
It's none of your business.
We need a drum kit for these questions.
So I found my show note. So the gentleman who played Karnas, played by Michael Pataki. By the way, he's from Youngstown, Ohio. Very interesting town. So he had previously portrayed a Klingon called Korax in the original episode of Trouble with Tribbles.
Huh.
So there you go. There's your connection to the original series.
See.
My mom still has her Tribble.
The makeup supervisor, Michael Westmore, had previously used makeup to age DeForest Kelly in the season premiere encounter of Farpoint.
It's virtually the same makeup.
It is. And in Too Short
good.
a Season provided a unique challenge as 4 stages of makeup were required to show Admiral Jameson de-aging. So, spoilers if you've never seen it before, he gets younger, but nobody knows it yet.
It's convincing up until a point because the wrinkles in his forehead never move.
Yeah. Well, but the neck stuff is great. Sorry, I was yawning when I was talking. Yeah,
it's very.
His neck looks very.
What do you call it?
Veiny and gross.
He's got old man giblets, neck giblets. See, I want to live to about 129, but I don't want neck giblets.
No.
So
they'll be able to fix that real easy in the future.
Yeah, well, duct tape in your neck.
Yep.
That's actually a thing right now.
Oh man.
There's a thing you can do with your arms, by the way, but it's basically just seamstress's tape. Ooh. But the problem with that is you have to wear sleeves. And you could just do some fucking push-ups.
So, or we could just have like skin bat wings. All right, so back to the show.
Jones.
I did want to kind of read a little bit more into this makeup for Mr. Jameson, Admiral Jameson.
Yeah, check out his face.
The initial stage of the show showed Jameson at his oldest. Involved Roner, that's the actor, wearing a bald cap and wing plus latex prosthetics applied to his eyes, forehead, throat, and jowls. So that's latex right there that you're looking at. That stage took up approximately 4 hours of time for the actor to apply. Westmore found himself worn out by the volume of work during the episode. That at the time the makeup team was on the series included just him and Werner Kepler, so he didn't have like a whole bunch of people.
Wow.
It was...
Hang on.
Yep.
Tell me those don't look like razor blades with lightning bolts carved in them around her neck.
Around her neck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
wow.
wait until they zoom in.
No, I can see it already.
If so, that's a very good, like, corner-cutting cosplay kind of thing to do.
By the way, he is wearing pants, so that is answered.
There's no...
Oh, they do? Wow.
Yeah, there's no telling whether or not he was wearing pants the whole time, though. Maybe he aired it out. Yeah.
It's really too bad the director Bowman later criticized Roner as the makeup being subpar.
Huh.
Which is really unfair when you only have 2 staff.
No. So what's happened here is this guy has taken an alien drug to de-age him. He actually was given some for his wife too, but he was so selfish he didn't give any to her.
Oh, you asshole.
Yeah.
So this is not the first Admiral's uniform we see. This is like the second or third.
Yeah.
So we saw Q in an Admiral's outfit. Did we see another Admiral yet?
I don't think so.
No.
But here's Crusher telling Picard, this guy's full of crap. The Admiral we're talking about, he gave her old information for a physical. It was 2 months old instead of up to date.
Livingston the fish, by the way.
Yep.
Fish tank in space. How bitchin' is that?
Oh yeah, no, it's one of my favorite things. My favorite is when Data gets into the Sherlock Holmes thing and he holds a magnifying glass to the tank to investigate Livingston.
It appears to be a fish, my good woman.
The weird thing about this for me is that they had those exact fishes at Chinese restaurant I used to frequent when I was like 6. So it's just like he moved up in the world. Hi, lionfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, from what I hear, lionfishes are really super duper poisonous, so that can't have been easy transporting it.
That's not his space food then.
God no.
Oh, here we go. So he's going to get up and walk around. I can't
Wouldn't
believe
it be more effective to open like a refrigerator door than to slide both ways? Because like if one panel breaks, you just can't get out easily. I mean, I guess the idea was that he wouldn't need to get out at all, but
You can need a wheelchair and still be able to use your legs. It's usually a back thing or a wasting thing.
Honestly, as soon as you said refrigerator, the first thing I thought of was French door refrigerators.
We used to have a Frigidaire.
Sorry, don't add, man.
We left a few flaws here in the console for you.
Delicious!
Sonny, get into my back compartment and get me my driving whiskey.
So here's the interesting thing about Dr. Crusher in this episode. Is that she is concerned about standard practices. And he just said he's under a new therapy, but it's not in his medical record.
Mm.
That's cool. He's reliving his youth.
Yep.
I bet you that was his first station, was the con.
Yeah.
So, was there a limited amount of the alien drug and there isn't anymore?
Yes, he was given 2 doses by these aliens and took them both, which we will talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, but can you go get more?
Picard does not want to hear this conversation. Mm. You can just see it on his face, like, I'm only talking to you because you're in the room. He doesn't want to hear it.
He kind of looks like he needs to go to the bathroom. Okay, can we talk about this after I move one out? Give me like 20 minutes.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice the double display there. Oh, this is a nice transition scene. So it's deliberately dark. We're going to scare the wife.
This is an you've been cheating on me kind of thing to do.
And he's
Don't push
really
me
happy.
over.
Oh, those are just... Oh, whoa. He wants to put his tongue in her. She's like, whoa, slow down, Mark.
And when I bend you over the kitchen table, honey.
Well, the older we get, the randier we get, apparently.
Well, yeah, you don't
Senior
have to worry about
citizens
birth
get
control
around.
anyway. Yeah, see, there you go.
Oh, that's just a terrible forehead.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
He looked pretty ugly 20 years ago because... So the character is 85. So 20 years ago, that's what he looked like when he was 65.
And he still cannot move his forehead. So it's too much forehead and it's like football head kind of... Football helmet kind of forehead.
Why did you tell them? We could have had mid-sweet iguana wrinkle love. I've hidden a raisin in one of my folds, and it is up to you to get it.
It's like slapping a couple of beef jerky sticks together.
So we've initiated the forensics stage in Star Trek. So Star Trek usually operates in about 3 acts. And they always get into forensics at about Act 2. So we're actually a little early, because we're still in Act 1. And they're basically saying there's something terribly wrong with the Admiral's body. And we're really upset about it, but there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, but if it keeps going, he's gonna, pre-birth himself. Like that episode of Futurama.
You know who also did that? We had a time travel episode in Voyager, where a character named Kes first was getting older and older. No, younger and younger, then older and older, then older. Mm-hmm. And they actually had a scene where she was being born, and then in the womb, and then before conception.
I remember that.
Yeah, but isn't your parent
Look at me! I have
just be
chin
goo on a
wrinkles.
sidewalk.
He's a tadpole now. He's not a lizard anymore. This uniform feels great.
Do either one of you ever read
feel my knees.
There was a series of I Can Read books by Jane Yolen called Commander Toad that was a parody of Star Trek about a frog who had a spaceship.
I want to read that.
Yeah, they're really cute. Commander Toad.
So this is really cool. They get it out of the way early. He is explaining exactly what he did. And he's being very upfront about it because Picard said, "You're an admiral. We need to make sure that we're not losing a valuable asset. There's a marked change. What's going on? You owe Starfleet an explanation." So he just said, yeah, I took a drug and it worked.
Cerebus too.
So there's an ulterior motive. Yeah. Maybe he didn't. If there's a mortality rate, maybe he didn't want his wife to potentially die, but you still could have bothered to talk it over with her first.
No, this whole series just stinks of, I want to relive my youth, and I'm being really greedy about it.
Midlife crisis only towards the end.
He could have bought a new spaceship.
Or banged a bunch of chicks.
No, he loves Annie.
So she's kind of pissed that he took this drug.
What are the other tropes? Aside from the fast car and the trophy wife. Hair plugs?
Yeah.
Well, that and she's more of a mother to him than she is a wife at this point.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So,
you old poop!
So I could just see the timeline of these guys' relationship. So Annie and Mark meet when they're really young. And first Annie puts Mark in the friend zone. Yeah. Then she comes around and they get married. And then they're in the relationship zone and the wife zone. And then he takes his aging pill and now Annie's in the mom zone.
Well, he had a disease that basically got cured. Iguana disease. I was going to turn green and grow a tail. Would you want me crawling all over you?
Which happened in the Voyager episode where they travel faster than Warp 10 and turn into lizard people. A terrible episode.
Yeah. And Paris and Janeway had babies. Annie, I did it for us.
What's that line from
Young man, Admiral Iguana, you come home right now. Coming, mother.
Like, what's that line from Red Dwarf? He's like, oh, what was all that clucking about? I was trying to see a chicken. Have you ever seen a chicken? Have you ever seen the size of a chicken's bum? I was trying to say in chicken speak, for God's sakes, give me an epidural.
Oh, dear.
At least he's offering.
So,
but
what's
maybe she wants
interesting,
to age naturally.
when looking into the production of this episode, they wanted to originally reference andropause, or otherwise known as male menopause.
Oh, that's why you were talking about it.
Yeah, and DC Fontana later explained that the terrorist MacGuffin, an ambitious and center plot point, was not quite right. Fontana was brought in to overhaul the ending and explained that a lot of what I put into the end was also Michael's story in drafts, but approached with different emphasis. One significant alteration she made was to change the plot from involving actual terrorists to change basically from using terrorists to a trap that the crew must defuse. The original ending also had two opposition parties on the planet sit down for peace talks, with Jameson surviving the effects of the de-aging drugs. He would have been reduced in age to 14 and could no longer remember his wife.
Huh.
So, again, this is another really interesting original plot that might have been better than the rewrite.
Yeah. And we would have seen her as more of a grandmother than a mother.
Right?
Unless, of course, well, there's that whole lucky penny kind of thing.
I'm just like, immediately it's like, oh God, Gammy, bad touch. Why did I wake up in your bed?
Oh!
No, I was thinking of that part in Lucky Penny where he brings his girlfriend over and his younger brother is still a kid. He's like, she's like, God, he's so little. He goes, takes her over the side. When I was 14, my parents really got drunk on a trip to Bermuda. Really drunk.
Oh, God.
And he was in his 20s.
So right now, we kind of got away from the show. We are at the point now where DC Fontana has taken over. And the rewrite is he's talking to the leader, and they realize there are no terrorists. This is just to settle a mistake that the admiral made with this guy right here.
Yeah.
Maybe 30, 40 years ago. Who knows?
So he decided to do what all these racist idiots want to do with the LA gangs, where basically he brought them all into a stadium and handed them all guns.
Wow.
This is what he did to this warring alien species.
When did they do that?
No, that never happened, but this was something I used to hear when I was a kid. Was like, you know what they should do to these LA gang members?
They did the
Just
same...
give them a bunch of guns and put them in
They did the
Dodger Stadium. And
the same thing on Rocko's Modern Life. He's standing next to a guy in line, and he's trying to convince him not to eat blank because sea animals get caught in the net. And he's like, you know what we should do? All the sea animals, they should put them on a big boat and send them out to sea and sink it halfway. And then a guy in line behind him who is next to a manatee who's crying, and he's like, hey buddy, my wife's a sea animal! And he starts beating the shit out of him.
You could say they were sea anemones. Oh! Boy, you got the rim shot jokes tonight, people.
Yes.
They did do something weird. Have you guys heard about the LA Gangs tour?
No, but let's get back to the episode.
Okay, sorry. I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
It's worth Googling.
So, they're finding out how totally screwed over by this admiral these guys are. I mean, he did start it, but he didn't start the get the Enterprise to this planet part of it. He just got dragged into that.
I can still not look at his face without seeing the alligator clip from a headband. It's the teeth.
Yeah,
those
Jordy.
are for hair.
Yeah.
I thought they were just having a conversation with Karnas saying that there were no hostages.
No, there are. No, there are no terrorists.
There are no terrorists. Okay.
Yeah, he's just holding a bunch of people hostage.
He always looks so pissed off.
Who, Riker or the Admiral? Admiral Lizard.
Yeah.
Like, you have everything
Well, he's no longer Admiral Lizard. He's now Admiral I saw a ghost one time.
Have we seen Worf in this episode?
Yep. He was with the Admiral showing him his station when he got out of his chair.
Because they only have, at this point in the show, they only have 2 makeup artists.
She's got lost in space face.
What's that?
She's got lost in space face.
She does.
Yeah. Little flick.
So you have 2 main makeup artists. Not like the show makeup, but like the actual costume makeup. So you've got Worf and Data and Karnas, and all of them take several hours. So think of all that time you just have to sit in the chair waiting for the stuff to get done before you shoot.
Well, actually, I want to say all of the Data stuff that they've used so far could have just been pickup shots from other episodes.
You think?
Yeah.
Weren't you saying previously that they would do like over-the-shoulder shots where the person really wasn't there?
Actually, there's something really cool coming up in this one. They do a handheld shot where they follow Picard out of a turbo lift in a little bit here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They really don't like showing this guy's face.
Well, that might have been... Well, part of it is that he doesn't want, what's his name? Karnas to know what happened to him.
Right.
So whenever he's in here talking to Karnas, he's hiding his face.
You know what I don't get about the Benjamin Button legend?
Huh.
Oh, yeah?
Is how the fuck his mother got a fully grown old man out of her vagina
She
to
didn't.
begin with.
She didn't. Did you see that movie?
I did.
He was tiny.
No, I mean like
He was a teeny tiny little old man.
Huh.
Was he in the book?
I don't know. I never read it's a short story, which I've never read, but I've seen the movie.
Okay, because that would make more sense.
It's a Riker double.
Otherwise, it's like that Kingdom Hospital scene.
That's our low self-esteem high school dropout Riker.
Yeah.
I had a T-top and I dated the head cheerleader.
Yeah, but me and Troy.
And and what's her name?
It was so crazy. It was like we connected in our minds. Like she was half Betazed or some junk. It was crazy. I had a connection, man.
Who's that pretty in pink chick?
Who's the what?
Who's that pretty in pink chick?
Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, he's like, I'll have you know I banged Molly Ringwald back when it meant something.
Yeah, back when I had to sign a contract that said I didn't. Sure was easier to be a creep in the 80s, I tell you what.
Oh, God. Especially what with arcade culture back then. Dark rooms, lots of children.
So this is where the Admiral is revealing his sin to Picard.
Yeah.
Is that Karnas took hostages. It was his job to go in there and negotiate, and so he decided to give them the weapons they wanted in exchange for the hostages' lives. And that fundamentally...
And the other thing we should draw conclusions with is that this was right around the time of all of the Iran-Contra stuff coming out. And they really wanted to talk about this on Next Generation. Basically, Reagan had been accused forever of selling arms to the Iranians to get hostages back when he was elected president.
Oh, is that the Peter North thing?
Oliver North, yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's why Carter lost in the White House in the election. I mean,
and he denied it and denied it and denied it and denied it, and finally it came out that yes, he had done it, and he got up and said, "Well, the evidence says that I did this, but I believe in my heart that I didn't." So this is kind of this is that sort of a recrimination.
Just because,
except his was I did change the record.
Ugh.
Lived with it on his soul.
I love how he's more guilty that he lied to Starfleet than he did about giving weapons that caused
he didn't
a
care.
war.
He didn't see them as being mattering.
Well, he's getting what's coming to him. He's gonna unbirth himself.
So he's driven by guilt. And the only way he can relieve that is to take these age-changing drugs.
Yep.
So it's like a slow suicide.
Which makes me wonder if he came into this situation expecting to die.
Maybe. Well, they did say there was a mortality rate, but he's like, what else is there to lose? Okay, shoot me up.
There's another marble. The planets are terrible.
Yeah, the clouds need to move, and it needs a texture on the outside. If it's constantly being burned up on re-entry and shit, it needs to be dented.
And they were there. That's not rear projected. They were all in that scene.
Did they build the stage though? Like all that stuff on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's just one of the
the background stuff.
The set of this show was kind of like on a giant Lazy Susan.
Oh.
So everything was all kind of joined up together, and they would just move the camera around it.
Right? They just put Riker in a really tough place here. Riker, who usually goes to the shoot-'em-up missions, the captain and an admiral.
Riker would just be... The problem is, I mean, Picard has to be the moral conscience of this whole thing.
Right.
Because nobody else is going to be. And Riker would just take the orders and go.
I can't see the phasers without thinking somebody's going to scan stuff for inventory. Even with those little props.
They look like the old retail Talzones. Yes,
I work with those every single day. They're just way easier to scan the receipts on stuff when you're doing reprints.
So this is a repurposed set. We see this set a lot. We see it on the Tasha backstory episode.
Did they use it for the Borg?
No. But we saw that set on the Data story when they go into the hidden caverns. And there are a couple other episodes too where they use this set.
So they're about to use their phasers like we would see lightsabers get used 13 years later.
Really?
Yep.
See, it's been a few months since I've watched this episode, so I'm a little behind. This is where Geordi uses his magic eyes to say this is the road. Is this what you're talking about, Patrick?
They're cutting their way through it. I mean, this looks a lot cooler in Star Wars Episode 1, which again was still... no, it was only... Why did I say 13? Only 11 years after this. Star Wars Episode 1. This is 88. Star Wars Episode 1 was 99. A lot of the times when you would ship back in this era, when you would show people cutting through stuff, they would just, highlight the edges of it. They wouldn't show them actually cutting and have the thing that they were cutting fall away. Old garbage cans. Geordi using his visor again.
Now, all these guys, they're just there to do a job.
Yeah.
And they're, good thing that we've got it set on stun, I always felt bad about the red shirts that unnecessarily die, especially if we killed them as Starfleet.
So you can tell by hearing it that the phasers are set to kill.
Very interesting. Basically, Picard just told Data, "Shut up, Wesley."
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, the stupid...
He didn't even show him
goes
get
completely
hit.
out without... He didn't get hit. He's reacting to the aging thing.
Oh, I thought maybe it was bad editing for a second.
But it was he went out completely without cover to fire at these people for no reason.
I think he wanted to die.
Yeah. Here it is. Look at this.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, handheld camera follows Picard up to Riker.
They do that from time to time. I like
That's the first time I noticed it in the first season.
He kind of looks like... I don't think it's Zod.
No, it's not Zod.
It's... No, he looks like that guy from the Star Wars Christmas, the old guy.
Oh, Harvey Korman.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Ops looks a little off-center there in that shot.
Here it is, handheld, walking with Picard to his side. And it's real quick, and it looked really cool.
I love it, yeah.
If they kept going, it would have been nauseating, though.
That is not overhand. That's on a boom zoom.
I was about to say, did he hold it?
See, they still haven't done their new sickbay yet. This is still the observation lounge. We're halfway through season 1. Now, they do have this up above them. That's new. That's the ceiling lighting from the medical bay that we usually see sick bay. Before, it was just like a dome light, more or less, like something you'd see in your living room, but fudged and opaque.
No.
I want to...
PVC pipe.
I like the idea that Picard recently gave an order that he couldn't hear people on the comm unless they were looking toward the ceiling. So it's like when you speak to me over the ship's comm, just please aim your voice toward where the speakers are and the bulkheads above you.
They're not doing it on purpose. They really don't have a cure, though, do they?
Nope.
Or is he just going, hey, put me
How
out
much
of
less
misery?
than 5 minutes? Do I have time for a piss?
That's a long pee.
Yeah. Now, Karnas has had a lot to drink today.
He's on his 4th pot of coffee.
Wait, which one's Karnas?
This guy here, Harvey Korman guy.
I was about to say, the other guy knows he's going to die. Of course he's hitting the sauce.
That's really a cool uniform. It looks like they took a painter's outfit and just kind of threw some dye on it.
Yeah. It kind of looks like tie-dye a little bit, but only one color. You know what I mean?
Planet Hell set outside the window, again with the painting with lights that we've talked about before.
The front of him also looks like a face.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pockets are the eyes, and then there's the wrinkle making the mouth.
Oh, I can't unsee that now. Thank you.
Yeah. There's a term for that, seeing a face in inanimate objects.
Wow.
This is just terrible.
Yeah.
I hate this scene.
It'd be funny if it's what's his name? Crispin Glover. Every time he gets hurt.
I was thinking of those people you see on televangelist stuff that they're like, be healed!
Yeah,
and all of a sudden they start
healers.
screaming it because they really believe it that much. Which is a good enough placebo effect if you really commit to it.
It'd be so much funnier if the Admiral, instead of having these seizure-like or heart attack-like symptoms, he would fart purple clouds.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, that would be.
It would be just as entertaining. Wait a minute.
You can't die with dignity with purple clouds.
I swear one of the background extras was Seymour Cassell, who is in a few episodes of this. He actually got used a couple of times.
Who did the costume design?
This is the guy that called them there.
Man, this just stinks of original series.
Yep.
Oh. This is kind of what I was saying about the episode.
So, send Mrs. Jameson down rather than send him back to her. Nice.
Well, it's a tense situation. If they leave that audience, they may not get it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you survive transport is the question.
If you look at the previous episode that we watched with the binars, the problem with the plot was not there is some bad guy. The problem with the plot was there is a mystery to be solved. And here, this is an original story. Original
They're
series
using technology a little
content,
better than a Viewmaster. This they cleaned up pretty good for the
Did
HD
they?
version, yes.
Cool.
That looked really dumb. Bless my gold buttons.
I'm
Here's
still
the
pissed.
wire.
She's in her kindergarten teacher outfit here.
It's a onesie with a drape, basically.
I clean so many of those at work. It's ridiculous. It's such a trope, but people still wear that stuff now. It's like denim with apples and stuff.
Oh, those are cool little pendants.
They are. I'm wondering why they're all clustered on the throat and not on the breast, kind of like normal medals. If that is even what they are.
40 years of Civil War. What a hell of a thing.
That's all this guy knows. 45. Okay, the deal.
So he was 35. Or no.
Oh, and
He
again,
was-
why are they
He
human?
was 45. No, it was 35. Yeah, he
That
was
would have been
35.
believable then.
Yeah.
You would have recognized the same face. Come on, Jameson. End this now. Show him your mark. Remember when we hugged and cuddled in the treehouse?
Yeah.
Oh God, tell me it's
That was
contagious.
so- that was
would
so
be a way
inappropriate.
to stick it to
My
him.
mom could never know.
I'm gonna sneeze right in your face. Or vomit. Vomit would be more funny.
He's got the shakes down pretty good. That's convincing.
Ugh.
I shake like that when I go to the bathroom sometimes.
Ha!
It's not coming out!
Means you're doing it wrong, Sasha.
There's a good Game Grumps about him getting the flu in a hotel room. He got the shakes. Then he ran past 4 people to go to the bathroom and headbutted the toilet and started bleeding everywhere.
That's gross out.
It was, but it was a funny story at the time.
It is you. Oh, excuse me.
Ask me anything that guy's supposed to know. He
Yeah.
know. I changed my body, not my mind, doofus.
And die by your
Look
own
at this
weapon.
stupid prop. Look at it.
It looks like
Put him out of his misery at this point. Seriously. Look at, he's terrible.
I almost want to say that they could have pulled out a Dalek prop and it would have been just
It's
as
not going to
funny.
do it. Well, fuck you. I'll do it myself. Somebody give me a pencil.
You can't murder me. Only I can murder me. And now I'm going to do it to show you how much of a jerk you are.
Ease his pain.
Give me some LSD. Oh my god. Space LSD.
They should give him just put him out of mercy killing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Annie with the golden hair. Now, how cool would it have been if they spent 10 minutes in a flashback explaining their relationship?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And really easy to do, but they didn't.
Go!
He's a really lucky guy. I mean, not a lot of people in Starfleet get to die in the arms of their significant other. I mean, this is
especially
really...
if you're a red shirt.
And on a mission.
Yep.
He fixed the mission dying in his wife's arms. That's the best way to go. If on duty.
Yeah.
What are the rules about haunting in this universe, though? That would suck.
Does not exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you
Except
are...
for candle ghosts.
Yep. Unless you are a pre-existing
Candle
energy
ghost.
being.
Yeah, an Irishman living in a candle.
There was also that ghost child that impregnated Troy.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming up in
It's
second
coming,
season.
coming around the bend.
Weird.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
There's the ship around the marble.
Clouds. Do the clouds.
They never really said which hostages were taken.
Yeah.
They just said they took hostages.
It would be funny if it was like puppies or
Well,
something.
how does Karnas, after he called the Enterprise there for a vengeance debt, get to make decisions about what gets buried on that planet? I don't know.
Who knows? All we know is that they need to warp out of this episode. Thank you. ISIS 3.
I need to watch his new Reading Rainbow version.
It's good, and he also does a podcast.
Where
called,
Data
nice.
and Geordi give a little nod.
Well, it's over.
It was a fairly unextraordinary episode. We thank you for watching. Even the bad episodes have their ups and downs. I enjoyed learning about the makeup art. I had no idea until I watched this episode and did a little research that there was only 2 people working makeup for this show. And I know that was a
Good
big...
job.
Yep, that was... Well, think about it. Like Michael Dorn had hours and hours of makeup, and Michael was actually talking about quitting the show because of the makeup process and how he had an allergic reaction to it. So...
I was about to say, the guy for X-Men was bitching about how the fact that it took hours to do his entire upper body, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it if there's a sequel. But having an allergy, not only, would they be able to cover it up if he had a rash?
Mm-hmm.
Or would he just be making it worse by trying to cover it up?
Well, thanks for watching. As you know, you can always find our next episode on our Facebook page.
Please remember to also check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Old Fashioned Smoke Signals. For a very brief time, I will go into the woods, build a Boy Scout fire, and smoke signal the entire episode to you in Morse code. Have a good one, folks.
Bye!
Why am I introducing this?
So you're the guest.
So Sascha, what's
So-
Star Trek
Hi,
Next
I'm the
Generation?
guest.
So, Sasha, what is Star Trek? We're only in the first season right now, so there's a lot that's coming down the line.
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear. Music heard in this podcast can be found at freemusicarchive.org. Audio engineering by Sascha Shouties. Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirshner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
Do you have a podcast that you think people should be listening to? Send us your promos and we'll play them on the show. If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sascha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.